Small Business Administration. Restaurant owners can apply for grants for up to $10 million per business and $5 million per location. The National Restaurant Association estimates more than 110,000 restaurants shut down either temporarily or permanently in 2020.
Now, here's something interesting. Didn't think about this one. Millions of drivers could be scrambling to find fuel to take a road trip this summer, but it's not because of an oil or gas shortage. There's a shortage of drivers qualified to deliver product to gas stations. National Tank Truck Carrier says between 20 to 25% of tank trucks are parked due to a driver shortage. The pandemic shut down many driver schools, and a new federal system identifying drivers with prior drug or alcohol violations also knocked thousands of drivers out of the workforce. Never thought about that, Trent.
I never thought about that either. Coronavirus has such a widespread reach. All right, so here we go. Weather-wise, check it out. Your day planner, we're looking at a whole lot of warmth. Mid-70s by mid-morning. Now, I do have a few storms that are going to be building this afternoon. We're back into the low 80s. Now, even this evening, I've got more storms that are going to be building, but I don't quite think they're going to be as strong. I think the ones that pop up this afternoon, less coverage, less of us will deal with them, but they're likely to be pretty intense. Got a lot of heat and a lot of humidity coming in here. We'll still keep some strong storms, but it's going to start to taper off overnight, the intensity, as more of us have to deal with them. So, yeah, kind of a rough little forecast getting into the second half of the work week. Today, though, before those storms pop up, should be beautiful. Not as bright as yesterday, but just as warm and a little more muggy. Look at these numbers right now. 70 degrees right now at 6:10. 6:10 in the morning in April, and we're at 70. 62 in Ashtabula, 65 in Worcester. It is a very muggy and warm start to the day. Mike, tomorrow, we won't even make it this warm.
Uh-oh. Enjoy it while we got it. Coming up next, the link to loneliness and cancer, how being alone could be just as harmful as smoking cigarettes.
Then hotel occupancy going back up this weekend because of the draft. We'll tell you how that will impact other local businesses. And Trent can answer your questions about the weather, music, science, pretty much anything. He's just an encyclopedia of knowledge. So make a video of your child asking a weather question. Share it with us using the hashtag TripUpTrent, or just email it to him directly. His address is on the screen. Then make sure you watch Good Morning Cleveland every Thursday morning to hear Trent's answer. Send some questions. He needs questions, so come on, let's get those videos rolling in. 6:11, everyone. We'll be right back.
Your time now, 6:14. The sentencing for convicted murderer Derek Chauvin has been moved to June 25th.
It was previously set for June 16th. A jury found the former Minneapolis police officer guilty in the 2020 killing of George Floyd last week. Chauvin was convicted on all counts, including second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Second-degree unintentional murder carries a maximum sentence of up to 40 years in prison, while third-degree murder carries a maximum sentence of 25 years. And the maximum for second-degree manslaughter is 10 years and a $20,000 fine.
The funeral service for 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant, who was shot and killed by a Columbus police officer last week, is set to happen this Friday. The service is at 1 p.m. at the First Church of God in Columbus. According to the Columbus Dispatch, it is the same church that hosted the funerals of Casey Goodson Jr. and Andre Hill. Those two black men were also shot and killed by Columbus police back in December.
A White House official says President Biden is set to announce $200 billion in funding for universal publicly funded pre-K. As part of a sweeping spending package he will unveil during his primetime address to a joint session of Congress tonight. Republicans have unveiled a counteroffer that costs around $600 billion, significantly less than Biden's $2 trillion plan. You can watch the president's address 9 o'clock right here on News 5 tonight. A new study out of Finland reveals that loneliness can cause cancer in middle-aged men nearly as much as smoking or being overweight. The researchers have been tracking the health of middle-aged men in the country since the 80s and now say there's a clear link between loneliness and cancer. They also say the mortality rate was higher in patients who were unmarried, widowed, or divorced.
6:16, Instagram launching a new campaign for mental health. It's going to combat male body confidence issues.
A survey of 2,000 men found that half of men there struggle mentally because of how they feel about their body during the pandemic. So IG is teaming up with Calm Body Talks to feature famous men opening up about battles with body dysmorphia.
A check on the Mega Millions overnight shows there was no winner for Tuesday's jackpot. Now it climbs to an estimated $319 million for Friday's drawing. We're going to share that drawing with you live right here on News 5 ahead of our 11 o'clock broadcast.
And if you don't see one of us here on Monday, you know what happened.
Oh, man.
We were winners. We were winners.
Would you still come to work? Would you?
I was just thinking that I probably would. I would
probably
be bored.
would. Yeah, I probably.
No, you would not.
No.
No, you would not.
No, you would not be bored.
No?
Mike.
You'll
find something.
You come on. You cannot tell me that you would come back to work.
I
or
probably
be
wouldn't
bored.
come back to work.
But
the
I
bosses don't know.
Watching, Mike. It's fine. You can be honest with us.
Nobody's listening. We won't tell the boss.
Ain't nobody coming back to work if you win the lottery. Ain't nobody
Probably
coming
not.
back to work.
I would have to do something, though, with my time because I would go stir crazy.
Well, you have all the money. You can create
travel.
things. Yeah,
Travel.
you can create things.
Yeah.
Scuba dive.
But you're not.
You've been talking about scuba diving all week. You must really want to do it, man.
Anything you can do. I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's go to the weather. Let's take. You could storm chase year round, Mike.
That would be fun.
You could.
That would be fun.
All right, let's get to it. I've got some storms that'll pop up today. The reason we don't have a whole lot of storm chasers around northern Ohio, way too hilly and way too curvy. Not the best roads for storm chasing. We used to go out to Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas. All the roads are on a grid, so you don't even really need a map, and it's flat. You can stay so far away from those storms and still get a great view of them. All right, anyway, let's get back to it here. We got some storms that'll pop up later on today. They could be strong. As far as lightning, yeah, I would expect that. Heavy rain for sure. Damaging wind, it's a potential, maybe even some large hail with that. As far as tornadoes, I'm not expecting any of that. It's not a zero shot, but it's a pretty low potential for that. These storms are going to be building vertically pretty quickly, so I think hail and wind are going to be what we get our damage from today. And it's not going to be widespread until overnight tonight. I'll show you that in a minute. Talking about storm chasing, I don't want to freak anybody out or anything, but we do have some storms in the forecast. 66 right now. Humidity still low, but look at that dew point. That's up in the 40s, so it's much wetter. It's a little juicier atmosphere than it was yesterday. That's why we're going to start talking about some thunder chances. Plus, we've got this boundary. This boundary is going to take forever to completely sweep through here. Realistically, probably not until Friday morning. That means we're unsettled today with thunderstorms. We're in the warm sector of all of this. Tomorrow, with that boundary stalled out over us, we're looking just soaked. Warm south, cool and wet to the north. And then by Friday, we're all cool, but we should start to dry things out. 60s, low 70s right now, super muggy. Here's your hour by hour through the day. Noon, we're looking at about 80 degrees. Warm, very warm. Once we hit about 80, we'll notice some thunderstorms starting to build up. And I think that's what we're going to have to watch for later on today. Those thunderstorms are going to build quickly, and then they're going to move out with other storms moving in during the evening and overnight hours, guys.
LeBron James is releasing his second children's book.
It's called We Are Family. The novel is about 5 new friends, all with different dreams, goals, and backgrounds. The book is a follow-up to LeBron's first children's book, I Promise. It was co-written with author and journalist Andrea Williams, and it's set for publication at the end of August.
Cleveland's Rockefeller Park Greenhouse will be reopening to visitors next month. The greenhouse will resume its normal hours of 10 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon each day, starting Friday, May 7th. Visitors over the age of 5 will have to wear a mask. Only 30 people can be inside the building at a time. And keep in mind, visitors will not be allowed to picnic, create art, or hold photography sessions inside the greenhouse. It closed because of the pandemic last March.
Lorraine County